All right. So let's, I like you to watch my demo first. What I'm going to do is I walk front princess seam and then back princess seam. And where to start is that, you see, I want to start not from the hem from the top, but from the waist up and down. Okay. Waist is the matching point. So I walk from waist upwards and the waist downward. Okay. And if there is any discrepancies, I will adjust at the both ends. Okay. So let me start with this, the front princess seam. Walk is under verify. Okay, so under verify we have walk pieces, and remember you can fold the darts. We did that, right? Remember we fold the darts and adjust, and also measuring tool. It's all under verify tab. Okay, so I will use walk pieces. Okay, now if you look at the cursor shape, it has options. Okay, so I will right click. Okay, oh sorry, walk, and then first you select the line, that stationary piece. I will select this as a stationary. Okay, and now arrow comes from the hem. Do you see that? Okay, but I want to start from notch point right here. So what can you do? Okay, then you right click, exclude before, and then you select this notch point. Then you will start from here. Okay, and right click to confirm. Then you select the target line. The direction is wrong, so right click to change direction. And I want to start from the waistline. So again, right click to exclude before, and you select this notch point. Now I can start both from the waist point. Right click OK, and right click to change mobile side, and then you walk. Okay, so if you see, okay, you know, maybe just a little bit here, you see, so you will fix that. Okay, and so for now I will just leave it as is, and then come back and fix later. Cancel. Now if I want to again walk waist down, you do the same process. Walk pieces, select the stationary. So you do a lot of right clicking. Right click, change direction. Right click, exclude before, and you select the point, the starting point. Now confirm first, right click OK before you go into target, which is this one. The direction, starting direction is correct, but you need to exclude before so that you can start at the waistline. Now both are starting at the same point. Right click OK, and right click to change mobile side. And then you just simply walk the cursor, and then this is good, right? Okay. Yes, this is very good. And notches are matching too, and right click to cancel. Okay. All right, so let's do this together. Eh? Okay, so verify, check walk pieces. Okay, select that walk pieces. Okay, then first, as user input on right hand side, it tells you select the line on the stationary piece. Okay, so stationary piece is this one, the jacket center piece. So left click on the side piece, side panel, and right click to exclude before. Okay, exclude before. Then place your cursor over the line, and then hold your left button of your mouse, and then slide it to notch point, and then release. So it starts from the waist point, right? Now, then right click OK first. Then you move over to the other side, left click, and right click to change direction. Right click again to exclude before. Then you will select the waist notch point so that both are starting from the waist points, right? Now right click OK. Okay, and right click again to change mobile side. And then simply you move cursor up and down. And then zoom in to the armhole. If you see just a little bit of a discrepancy, okay, How would you like to fix this? Huh? Modify, yes. Yes, single point, right? So you select the single point. I need to zoom out just a little bit. Okay. I think I'm selecting the wrong side. No, okay, let me do front. You need to click front. And then just move to okay. All right, so you know when pieces on top of each other, it's a little hard to select, right? The one piece that you want to select doesn't let you select. In that case, do you have this cursor current pieces? Okay, if you don't, on the bottom corner, about in the middle, do you see this little box with dot dot dots? Okay, right next to a piece name. Okay, so if you click, then this window pops up. We call it dialog box. Here this appears, and you can select front. Then you can only modify front so that you can select the corner point, and then you can fix that to match. Okay. And make sure you clear, otherwise you can't select other pieces if you highlight only one piece. Okay. All right. Why are you able to do that? Kind of. Were you able to walk? Okay, good. It's just many steps, but you know, if you just follow the prompt, you should be able to do that. All right, so let me stop here and use verify walk, and I will select the back as a stationary. So I click the back princess line. Direction is wrong, so I will change right click to change direction. And then I want to start from the waist point, so right click again to exclude before. Then you will select this waist notch point as a starting point. Now once you get that, right click OK. Then select the target line, which is this line. Direction is correct. Right click to exclude before and select the waist notch point. Right click OK. Right click to change mobile side, and you simply move cursor into C. Lines are matching. I think this is good, right? Don't you think? Okay, notice matching. So then you will right click cancel. Okay, and then you do the repeat for the bottom part, waist down. Walk piece, select the line. Now this time direction is correct, and right click to exclude before. Select the waist point. Right click OK before you go into target line. Now this direction is wrong, so right click to change direction, and then starting point is waist. So again, right click, exclude before, and select the waist point, and right click OK, and right click to change mobile side, and walk, and then see. Okay, there you see just a little bit of gap there. So right click OK, and you decide which one to modify. Okay, do you want to, well, maybe back or side? Let's do side. Okay, so this is again. Can you watch this? So when you're trying to, you know, select, let's say, try to select this point. Well, you could, but sometimes it's a little difficult to select when the points are close together. So if I want to, I want to modify the side panel. Okay, so you in the current piece box you select jacket side, then you can only modify the side piece. Okay, so that when you click piece point, it only let you select the side panel corner point. So then I will zoom in and then make it match as it's good enough. Okay, and once you're done, make sure you clear so that you can modify other pieces. Okay, F4 is good. You can just zoom out to the entire piece. All right, so how was it? Good. I mean, this is very useful, right? You can just, but you have a lot of, right click, a lot of options because there's many steps to follow. Okay. All right. Well, next one is a little challenging because we need to walk sleeve to armhole. Well, let me ask you this. Okay. I have this top sleeve and under sleeve. Okay. Where do you start walk? To which direction? Well, from the bottom, right? From the bottom, meaning this is the bottom of the armhole. So from this notch point, you go upward, right to the front. Do you agree? You will walk from this point and then to the shoulder point. Now, when you do that, you need to know which lines are the corresponding lines on the sleeve side. You're going to start from where on the sleeve? Mary? We try to walk the armhole, right, to sleeve. Because don't you want to check whether sleeve is too big or too small, or you see?
The under part of the sleeve?
Yeah, where is the corresponding point? This is the bottom of the armhole, right? Do you see the cursor?
Yeah.
Yeah. Where is that on the sleeve?
On the under sleeve? On the right there.
This one. Exactly. So this is the matching point, right? Corresponding point. So you walk from this point to this direction. Okay? So may I have your attention? So I will do verify walk. Okay? Now this is a multiple walk. So it's just not one, one seam to one seam. We have multiple seams. So in that situation, first you click the starting point, which is this one. Now direction is correct, right? Then you move on to second leg, which is this. Okay? Now I right click OK. Then you move on to sleeve and then click this section. Direction is correct. And then continue to this section. Okay? Then I right click OK. Okay? So here you will start from here and then and then you see the notch point is matching and you have little adequate ease. Okay, it should match, right? Remember jacket sleeve has little ease, right? Little puffy at the top. So it should match, right? Sleeve should be a little bit bigger. So you see, okay, this is correct. Then I will cancel. Okay, and then I will do the back part. Okay, here, see direction is wrong. Right click to change direction and then move on to second leg and right click OK, then move on to sleeve. Here now direction is wrong, right click to change direction. Now this is a tricky part because when you walk up from the bottom of the sleeve, this is the continuation of the line, right? Okay, and right click OK. And then you walk, and then you see the back also has adequate ease. Okay, so you know these are correct. And what I like you to do is I like you to add a notch here, okay, so that you can only distribute notch from this point above, no notches from this below. So here, when you get to this point, you can just eyeball it, okay, about 1/3 from this corner. You will right click, mark both. Where's mark? Okay, mark both. Then you will add a notch on both sides and right click to cancel. Then you should see notch on this side here. Okay, so that's what I like you to try while you're walking. So when you're walking, actually you can add notches too. Okay. Wait. So before you do that, sorry about that. When you walk, make sure you check this. Okay. add mark, add notch. Otherwise, you're trying to add a notch, it doesn't add. So make sure you check these boxes before you walk. All right? All right, let's do this together. Okay. Let me do Control C. Okay. All right. So I'm going to walk the armhole. Verify walk pieces. Okay. Make sure you check add notch. Check. Okay. So I walk first front armhole. Okay, front armhole. So click the side panel, front section of the side panel. Click. Direction is correct, right? So you move on to the front armhole. Okay, and right click OK first. Then you will move on to the sleeve. Okay, then under sleeve. Okay, under sleeve front section, which is here. So left click. Okay, the direction is correct, and then you move on to second segment, which is here. Click. Now you have entire front sleeve part marked, right? So then you right click OK. Then boom, sleeve will go attached to the armhole. Okay, and then you gently walk, just move your cursor along the armhole, and then zoom in, make sure you check the notches are matching, and then move, and then find out how much ease you have. Okay, and once you're done, right click to cancel. Okay, now that's the front armhole. Then you continue with the back armhole. Now back armhole, when you click the side panel, back armhole section of the side panel, when you click, direction is wrong. So right click to change direction so that it starts from the bottom of the armhole. Okay, and then click that back armhole, which is this one. Okay, so I selected entire back armhole. Now right click OK. Then you go to the sleeve. Okay, sleeve, this is the back part of the undersleeve. So you select, again, direction is wrong. Right click to change direction. Once you change direction, you move on to second section of the back sleeve cap, which is this one. And right click OK. Then you will walk along the armhole. Okay, and then you make sure you have enough ease, but then you go back a little bit, and then about little, eyeball about 1/3 from this corner. Okay, you right click, mark both to add notches. Okay, mark both. Okay, so that you add notches on both the body and to the sleeve. And right click to cancel. Okay. So once you've done that, you see notch on the back armhole and also notch on the top sleeve of the back side of that top sleeve. Do you see notches? All right. Excellent. What you do? Let's do neckline. Let's check the neckline. Okay. So I want to put shoulder lines together. Okay. Shoulder lines together. Okay. So let me do this again. Walk pieces. So I keep front as a stationary. Okay. So I select the front shoulder, but I want to walk from high point shoulder. So right click to change direction. And right click OK. Then I select the back shoulder line. Direction is correct, so right click OK. Now, if you can watch my here, right click to change mobile side. Change mobile side. Do you see the shoulder line is a little long, right? neckline is good, right? Is acceptable, right? No point, no corner. So the neckline is good. Okay. What about here? Do you have to fix this?
Oh, they have
Yes. Remember that? Yes, is so. Okay. Now this is the problem here. Okay. So, do you agree? Okay. So how do you find out? It's easy. We're in the verify, right? Verify tab. Select the line length and click both lines and then find the difference. Okay. So it's like what? 0.28. 0.226, 24. Thank you. Okay, so 0.24. So what would you do to indicate this back has ease? So that you don't mistake, oh, this pattern is wrong. So instead of chopping at the shoulder point, you don't want to do that. So what would be the technique to indicate, ooh, you have to ease in here? Ease. How do you indicate? Not annotation. You could do annotation too. Okay. Notches. Okay. Notches. So what you can do is this. So you can create a notch. Okay. Here. 1 inch. And then from the other side, 1 inch. And here also 1 inch. And then from other side, 1 inch. Okay? So by doing this, when you sew, you match the knot and match the knot. So you force, when you sew, you need to ease in here. Do you see that? Okay? So that, because you need to match both notches, then in between, you kind of squeeze, not squeeze, you just have to ease in a little bit to match to the front shoulder line, right? So that's the indication we use in pattern making. So let's walk first, and then you can add notches, all right? So go to verify again, walk pieces, select the front shoulder, okay? Select the front shoulder, right click to change direction so that you can start from high point shoulder, and right click OK. Then select the back shoulder, direction is correct, right click OK, and then right click to change mobile sign. So you can see you're butting two pieces together, right, at the shoulder point. Okay, then you see the difference, right? So then you're going to add notches, by going to create notch standard. Do you remember bunny clicking? Yes. Bunny click on the shoulder line, and then you enter 1, and bunny click again. Then if direction is wrong, press the tab key so that you can change the direction. So you add notches from each corner 1 inch away. Okay. Okay. Verify between notches 1 inch, 1 inch, 1 inch, 1 inch. Okay. Now those who are really into pattern making, you can also modify. I'm not sure if I can do it. Realign. If you want to realign piece, go to modify, piece action, realign. And then this time, realign is a little bit tricky because you have realign grain or realign piece. this one I want to realign piece, then click the piece and it will realign. Okay, so let's put this to pieces to original orientation. Okay, realign, modify, realign piece, and then click the pieces that has, you know, rotated or, you know, flipped. Okay.
How can I change original pattern?
Okay. Well, this one has this one. Okay. This is how the color should be on, like this, right? Okay. So because there is a dot, right? And so that this, we want to start from this. So this one is, this is called gauge line. Okay. Have you ever heard the word? Gauge line? G-O-R-G-E, like a reverse gauge. Okay. So this line is called gauge line. Okay. So this one, we don't need to walk. We need to just walk neckline. So this neckline and then the back, right? So this is also multiple legs. Neckline has two sections. So when you verify walk, you start from front. Okay, I will start from the front. Okay, front neck. And click and right click to change direction. Then I go to back neck. Okay, then right click OK. Then you click the collar neckline, which is this one. Collar neckline is just one leg, so you don't need to, it's only one section. Then right click OK again. And I will change mobile side. And you walk and then go to the back neck. And then you see there is just a little bit of discrepancy you will find. So if you find this type of discrepancy, what are you going to do? If your pattern have this type of problem, what are you going to do? You don't fix it. You just like ease it in. Huh? How? Move what? Set color center back line.
Yeah.
Yes. So how do you say that? Offset. You offset the center back line. This one. See, this is center back, right?
Yeah.
You want to offset.
Yeah.
Yes. How much? Make it match. All right. Manually, you're going to do that. Okay. If you do that, modify, piece actions, offset. Okay. And make sure you select the center back, the color, and then you will move, zoom in, and you can make it match. Okay. Shoulder line. We didn't do any change. We just added notches. Yes.
How did you realign the back of that?
Yes. Modify, line actions, realign piece. Okay, suppose we finished everything, right? And the work pieces. The last thing I need to do, verify is the neck dots. Okay, let's check the neck dots here. Okay, Do you remember how to verify the dart? If this is your pattern, my mouse moves very strange. Okay. If this is your pattern, how do you verify this? You just fold it, right? You fold and then fix the line, correct? So where do you go? Again, under verify, verify folding dart. Okay, verify dart. And then you select this side of the leg closer to the shoulder. Okay, click, and then you check. What do you think? It's acceptable? Yes. Okay. If it's acceptable, what can you do? Okay. Same place, fold in, unfold. Okay. Select unfold and click the piece, and it will go back. Okay. F3. Okay. Use F3, F4 to zoom in and out because it's much quicker. Okay. All right. So it's getting a little bit challenging now. Okay. Next, we're going to create facing. Okay, facing. Okay. Well, I already drew facing line, front and the back. Okay. So you are going to trace this facing line. Okay. So you know how to trace, right? Okay. Go to create, piece, trace. Okay. Create, piece, trace. And you can do click, click, click. That's we did, right? We did that. I show you other way to do. If you have, oh, I can't do that. Let me trace because it's continuous. I can do for the back next. For this one, you trace again clockwise. Okay, you can't skip the line. Okay, so you have to also trace the dot line. You can't skip the dots. Okay. Okay, now I enclose the space. Right click OK. Okay, and then make sure you select the row line. Okay, select the row line. Right click OK. And when it pops up, okay, you can name this. Okay, dash facing, FAC, facing. Right click. Okay. Were you able to trace like this? No? That means you skipped something. Carefully follow that line in a sequence, clockwise. Create trace. All right, looks good. Okay. Now, you don't want to have facing dots like that, do you? I mean, you could, but that would be very awkward piece, right? So what do you want to do? If this is paper pattern, can't you eliminate? Oh, Daniel, you should know that. What are you going to do? Yeah, how? Okay, where do you go to? Which tool you're going to use? Which tool? Anything to do about darts is under advanced darts. Okay, advanced darts. So I'm going to show you how to do. All right, everyone, watch my demo, please. So this is the darts. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I close this dart and then create a little bit of opening here. Okay, so close a little bit of outlet. Okay, so I would do advanced dart, manipulate, and rotate. Okay, so then I will select point. Okay, select the dart. Rotation point is the dart point. Hold line is anywhere not except the facing line. Okay. Then opening point, you eyeball it really close to that dot point. You click this point. Okay. Right click OK. Right click OK. Okay. So you transfer the dot and end up with this tiny bit dot, which is dismissible, right? You can just ignore, right? Because it's very less than 1/16. So then after you transfer, okay, you're going to modify, and then you need to combine lines, 3 sections, combine the line, and then you go to delete point, delete this point, and so that you don't have any more dot. And then later you can move point, single point. You can just little, blend it a little bit. Okay? Okay, let me do that again. So you go to advanced, okay, dot, manipulate, and from drop down arrow, you select rotate. Okay, select the rotate and select the leg of the dot. Select the dot point. Select the hold line, which is gauge line. And opening point, closest point on the facing line. Right click OK. Right click OK. Okay. Now, you see these are three separate lines. So you want to combine these lines so that entire facing is one, continuous line. So to do that, you go to modify, line actions, combine. Okay. Modify line actions, combine, and you select these 3 sections, okay, including dots, and OK. Okay. Now, these 3 lines are now continuous line. Okay. So then you want to delete dot point right here by going to modify, delete point. Okay. Modify, delete point, and then delete the dot point so that it becomes one continuous line. Now you see a little bit of a bump there. So if you want to fix, go to, again, modify, single point, and you can just move a little bit point apart. Okay, so that gets a little, less bumpy. Okay. Okay, so let's save now. Okay, go to File, Save, and right-click, select all, and OK. All right. So that is the front facing. Okay. Let's leave it as is, and then we come back and add seam allowance later. Let's do next back neck facing. Okay. So back neck facing lines already the lines already marked. So for this you can use trace, but instead I'm going to use create piece facing. Okay. Create piece facing. Okay, facing. And this one you simply click that facing line, and you see this like a bacon presser. Do you see that? Okay, you click that, and then you can extract. And here you add, okay, back neck facing. Okay. All right. So this one is one shot, right? Because see, line is continuous. If you have a line is continuous, you can use facing. But front facing was, see, 2 different lines. Okay, that's why you couldn't use the facing. Okay, in order to use facing, line has to be one continuous line. Okay. All right. So now were you able to extract? Okay, this piece. Okay, so that's back neck facing. Okay, excellent. Okay, press F3. Now you see all pattern pieces. Okay. All right. So if this is the real pattern, we have to do a little bit of more pattern adjustment, but we don't have time to do all that. So I will just move on without adjusting the pattern. Remember, if you have facing, you have to add a little bit extra there. Do you remember that? You don't remember? Facing? Can you just use facing like this? Well, you could, but what happened if you do? Well, like a collar. Do you make a collar, two different collars, right? Top collar, under collar. Did you do that? Well, very good. What did you do to which collar? Huh? Okay. Okay. Which collar is bigger? Correct. Why? Okay. Yeah. Well, basically you hide the seam and also extra to turn, things like that. Okay. So, well, good. So you're good. So I'm going to do that because I thought you didn't learn this thing. So actually, I underestimated you. So good that you know. All right. So that's because this is what actually you need to do when your actual pattern, because you want to make good patterns, right? So that when it's finished, you look really, nice garment. Just a little bit of adjustment like that really makes a big difference. Okay. So let me do first front facing. So I like you to follow really close attention here. Okay. I like to watch first. Don't do anything. Just watch my demo first. Okay. Because I do twice. Yes. Okay. So what I'm going to do is that I'm going to add first. You see, facing lapel has to turn, right? Lapel has to turn. So I want to add 1/16 little extra. Okay. So, but along the line. Okay, so what can you do? You can do few things. Well, a couple of things. Easy way is probably, no, let me do logical way is, remember we did yoke skirt with flare or extra shirring. Which command did we use to do that? Fullness, right? Fullness, okay? So I'm going to go use advanced, okay? Fullness, I do parallel, okay? Parallel, and I will select breakpoint, and then just following the row line, and I will select like this. And right click OK, and I will select facing line as a stationary location. And I don't have any internal line to move together, so right click to confirm. So then I can see open. How much? Bunny click and you enter 1/16. See, I added a little bit of ease, okay? And this one you can delete the point later so that it becomes straight. Then what else did you do? You add a little bit extra to the edges, right? Okay, so I'm going to add 1/16 to the edges, okay? Starting from 0, 1/16 all the way. 0 here, 1/16 all the way, okay? So if you want to add uneven amount to the edges, what command did you use? Uneven. Yes. Create, offset, uneven, right? Then I will work on this edge here first. So I slide all the way to this point as a 0, okay? And then second point, I would do 1/16. See, I'm adding extra, okay? And right click, okay? Then I move to here, okay? So this point is 0, okay? And then second point, about this point, where the row line is, you enter 1/16. and then enter. Then you go back to here, you fix this little point here. You can delete this point, and this will get straighter, okay? And here also, you will move single point, and then you will just move this a little bit, and then I think, let me see what happens. Control Z, okay. So I think I will move this point. Yeah, it's affect. All right. So when this happens occasionally. Did you see that? If I move point, see this other line, the rest of the line affects that like that. So when that happens, this means that you don't have adequate points on the line. Okay. So you will, before you do that, you go to create point, and you add extra point just somewhere, in between. Then you go back to modify single point. So when next time when you move, you see it doesn't move that much. See, you have more control to fix that. Okay. So this one you can go just a little bit slightly curve, and then go up like this. Okay. So that's the facing adjustment. Okay. So if I see view original, see this is that change which took place. Do you see? Okay. So you added extra, we eliminated the dots, and so that facing got a little bit of extra for the turning and also hide the scene. Okay. Okay. So let's do this together. Yes. Very good point. Yes. So that means if you're using like Melton heavy fabric, instead of 1/16, you want to do like 1/8 something. So that really depends on, yes, you're correct. It's not always fixed amount. All right. Let's do this. Create. So this was the original one. So I'm going to quickly manipulate, rotate. And I do modify, combine, click, 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 and delete the point. And single point. Okay. All right. So first thing you do is you will add extra to the along the facing line. You will select advanced furnace parallel. Okay. Advanced furnace parallel, and you will select from the breakpoint to, so following the row line already on the pattern. Okay. Draw the line and right click OK. Select the facing side as a stationary and no internal line, so just right click OK. Then if you're in cursor mode, you will see like this. So change to bunny click to change to value mode. And then in the box you enter 1/16. So you have a little bit of gap in between. Great. So once you're done, okay, before we do offset uneven, so we know we are missing some points. Let's add points first, okay? So go to create, okay? Go to create point slash drill, okay? And then add a little more point along the facing edges and also the gauge line here too, a little bit here, okay? Okay, create point. So make sure you add some few extra points. Okay. All right, so let's do the bottom edge of the facing lapel. Okay, so you use create line offset uneven. Okay, line offset uneven. Then place your cursor over the lapel edge line, and then slide it to the break point. Okay, break point, you select the break point all the way to the left side, right? Okay, release, and you keep it 0, so you confirm OK. Then you go back to the area, select the first point from the break point, and then you enter 116. So you add 116 all the way to the lapel point. And right click OK. Oh, excuse me, sorry. So make sure you select replace. If you did add, if you create an extra line, you can go to modify line action swap, and you can swap. Okay, but you know, by now we like to use quicker versions. So when you use create offset uneven, make sure you select replace instead of add. Okay, replace. So I added to the front edge, so bottom edge of the lapel. So let's do the next, the gauge line. Okay, gauge line, same. You will use same advanced, create offset uneven. Okay, so slide along the gauge line all the way to the corner. Okay, that will be 0. Okay, and then you select the point where the roll line is. Okay, select the point, and then you add 116. Okay, right click OK. Now you see a little funny bump right there. So you can eliminate by going to modify, delete point, and then point one of the opening gap. Okay, you have 2 points, so delete one of them, and it should flatten that gauge line. If not, you just have to move move the point to make it straight. Okay. Okay, is yours look like this? Okay, all right. So then zoom in the gauge line. Okay, so there you will, the break point, and make sure you move just a little bit, and then here, move just a little bit. This line, little funky here, right? Yes, it should be curved. So let me, I think this point seems a little strange. Yeah, do like that. Okay, just a slight curve. Okay. Okay. So if you want to check how your line changed, you can go to View, View Original, View Revisions Original. Okay. When you click, then you can see the difference. Okay. And click again to undo. Do you want to see other ways to do this? No? I can show you a quicker way. If I were, let me do this. Okay, the other way to do is like this. Let me, so without using slash and spread, I can first modify piece action, rotate, and I will rotate according to perform alignment, and I will align the roll line with x-axis. Okay, so you click the roll line, click the piece, and click the roll line. Okay, then what I will do is I will use modify point. And I'll carefully select just a little below the facing row line and right click OK. And then use value input. Okay. X movement is 0. Y movement is minus 116. So that is the same thing, slash and spread. Okay. Then you do the rest, the same thing. Okay. But I think this one will be probably more logical to understand. Okay. All right. So front facing is done. Okay. Congratulations. Okay. All right. Then do the color. Okay. Sarah, you said the top color is bigger, right? So how did you make top color bigger? Yes, a good answer by adding. Okay. All right. So this one, okay, under color doesn't change. Okay, under color we keep it same. We change top color. Okay, so we keep this as the under color. So we create. So first, I'm going to create. Okay, copy, and then click, and I will change this to top color. Okay, top color. Okay, so make sure don't modify. We use this as the under color. So I did a top color. So I want you to watch my demo here. Okay, so I need to, okay, this is the row line, okay, but it's curved, okay. So I'm going to actually slash and spread, okay, slash and spread. So how you do this, okay. So I'm going to use modify point, and I will just select just about this area. Okay, not entirely like this, okay. And then I will right click, and then if you're in the cursor mode, it will be like that. We'll change to value mode and X, Y, and measurement. So X is negative direction, so you enter minus 116, and then press the tab key. Y is 0. Okay, so you see I moved almost like a slash and spread, right? And I will say OK. Okay, let's do this together. All right. So go to modify, select point, and then you have to be careful how you use marquee. So select the marquee so that you can only select the together with the row line. Okay, not the entire color, half of the color, like this. Yes.
Sorry, how did you do this?
Create piece copy. Okay, then click, and then you name top color, top-col. Okay, so modify point, and then you select half of the color like this. So then points are highlighted, right? Then right click OK. Now if you're in the cursor mode, it will be like that. So bunny click to change to value mode. And X box, you enter minus 116. And press the tab key to go to Y box. Y box is 0. And click apply to make sure, okay, you're doing correctly. It looks right. And click OK.
Could you show me?
One more time, okay? One more time. Okay. So you have top color like this, right? Okay. Go to modify point. Okay. Place your cursor about this area, and then you will only select the half of the color like this. Okay. Then you see the points are highlighted. then right click OK. Okay, so if you're in this situation, you bunny click to value mode. Okay, value mode in the Xbox -116, and press the tab key to go into Y box. There you enter 0, and you can click the apply button, and you can see how the finished shape looks like, and you confirm OK and OK.
Maybe it's
116. I thought you were going to say, can I see? Can I do it again? All right. The last thing is that you will offset the edge 1/16 for the covered seam, right? So you go to create. Oh no, modify offset. Modify offset. So the color edge of the color here you extend 1/16. Okay. Okay, and this one you also add 1/16. Okay. This line, these two, not the gauge line. Okay, so if I view original, well, it's original really. Sorry, I should have. You can, if you put the back undercolors together, you see the change, right? If you place the undercolor on top, superimpose on the top color, you can see that difference. Okay. There are other things to do, but I'm not going to do this. I will stop here for the pattern adjustment. Okay. All right. So now the top color, undercolor has seam, right? Center back. So you don't need to mirror. This needs to be mirrored. Okay. So where do you go to mirror piece? Modify, action, mirror. Okay. Modify piece actions, mirror. Okay. Then make sure you check fold after mirror. Okay. And then notch both ends. Notch both ends. Make sure you select a notch mirror line, both ends, and you click the center back line and right click OK. Then you see it turn into interrupted line, right? Dash line, because that means you're successful. All right. Then, okay. So let me, okay. So that undercolor is, if you see, view, mirror, unfold. Okay. So you see the grain line goes to this direction. Okay. So you need to flip this. Okay. Flip. Where do you go to flip? Modify, piece actions, flip. Modify, piece action, flip. And then change to flip piece. Okay. This time you see which one you wanted to do. Do you remember this? Flip according to XY axis. Okay. So if I select this one, it will flip like that. If I select this one, it will flip according to Y axis. If I select this one, it will flip twice, XY axis. Okay. So which one do we have to do? This one. Okay. So select that. And then so the color is upside down, right? Okay, so make sure you select flip piece, not the flip about line. Flip piece, then click this quadrant, select this section. Okay, once you flip the color, then same here, piece action, realign grain. Okay, realign grain, and you need to change the grain line orientation. Remember, every time you rotate or flip, as long as you don't change the grain line, you didn't really change the orientation. Okay, so after you flip, go to piece actions, realign, realign grain, and then click the grain line. And right click OK. All right. And did we do facing? We didn't do facing, right? That's since we're doing a mirror section. Let's mirror the center back of the face, back neck facing. So select mirror again, fold after mirror, and then both ends. Same setting, and you just click the center back, right click OK. Back neck facing. Okay. All right. Which one?
You just mirror that.
Yes. Modify mirror. And make sure you select fold after mirror and then notch both ends. And click the center back. All right. So I'm going to. Okay. So now what we need to do is add seam allowance. All right. Okay. So the seam allowance, everyone. Okay. So the seam allowance is vertical seams, is ½ an inch. Okay. Armhole, collar, front edge are 3/8. Hemline and sleeve hemline 1.5. Okay. So, do you remember how to add a seam allowance? Yes, right. There's no add seam allowance. You have to go advanced and define. Okay. So I think easy way is, what is the majority of the seam amount? ½ an inch? Yes, I will add ½ an inch everything first, right? And then go back to individual to change, okay? So why do you add in a seam allowance? You see, because just looking at it, it's very hard to tell, is that ½ an inch or 3/8? Do you agree? Right? So let's turn on view from the tab, the top, view, and then on the piece section, seam amount. Okay, view seam amount. Okay, so you see the seam amount. Okay, so let's start with the front. Okay, front. Okay, so front ½ an inch. So actually, only side seam and shoulder are ½ an inch. The rest is 3/8. So I will actually go back to advanced, define, and click the middle of the piece. Okay, middle of the piece. Then you select all perimeter line, right? Lines, right? Right click OK. Then you enter 3/8 first. So you turn it everything 3/8, right? Then you select side seam and shoulder, and then change to ½ an inch. Okay. So let's leave it like this for now. We come back. Let's do side and the back. Okay. So side and back, you select armhole. Make sure side armhole is 2 sections, right? It's a split lines. Side armhole, you have 2 sections. You select 2 lines. And then back armhole and back neckline. Right click OK and turn into 3/8. Okay. Armhole lines and necklines 3/8. Okay. The collar, entire all edges 3/8. So select the middle of the pieces, or you can mark key to select the entire pieces. And right click OK and add 3/8. Okay. The collar, all 3/8. Okay. Then back neck facing. Okay. Only neckline 3/8. Okay, so the rest is ½ an inch. Now let's move on to top sleeve and under sleeve. Okay, you know, sleeve cap is 3/8. So sleeve cap lines are 3/8. Right. Okay. Let's press F3 to see all pattern pieces. Facing. Okay, facing. Okay, facing except the shoulder and then facing line. So front edges to neckline 3/8. Okay, so which one is easy? I will select front edges, gauge line, and neckline, and turn into 3/8. Okay. All right. Now, as temporarily I turn this view seam off. Okay. Now, if you see, by now you can tell. Okay, if you look at the corners, they are not correct, right? The corners. Look at every corner, like here, here. Remember? So that's where you need to fix the corners. Okay. Now, before we do that, let's complete the seam allowance here. Okay. So the hemline is 1.5. Okay. Can you watch my demo first? Okay. So if I try to do this advanced define back and side, if I add 1.5, that's not an issue, right? But if I try to add hemline, see what happens? Okay. So it is because hemline is from the break point to the side, it's all continuous line. Now, do you remember how this part should look like? If you remember, yeah, it's kind of steps out, right? Yes, it's called step, perpendicular step. Okay. So you see, this is the facing line, isn't it? Let me just make sure. So this is the facing comes right here. Okay. So what you need to do is to where the facing this line is, you split. Okay, split, and then so that you can add 3/8 here and 1.5 here. Okay, so how to split exactly where intersecting line is? You can go to modify. Okay, modify, line actions, split. Okay, now don't click the point. You see the cursor shape tells you have options. Okay, when you right click to see options, intersection. Okay, to select the intersection, click twice, select the internal line, and select the hemline. Okay, so then line is split. Okay, don't do anything yet. Then once you split the line, okay, then today's special. Okay, today's special. Okay, advanced corners. You see, we haven't used that many yet, right? We use this time perpendicular step. Perpendicular step. Okay, and here select none. And first you stay on the facing side. Okay, select this point. Okay, select the front part, and then select the hemline. Then you can add 1.5 inch. Voila. Okay. All right, let's do this together. First, you wanted to add a split point here. Okay. So go to modify, line action, split. Okay. Modify, line action, split. So once you select split command, move your cursor in your work area, right click, intersection. Okay. Click twice so that window disappears. Then you first select the internal facing line, then select the hemline. And you see little triangle appears on the cut line. That means line is split. Okay, so now you have split the line. Then the next step is you go to advanced, seam corners, and drop down menu you select perpendicular step. Okay, perpendicular step. First, you slide it to select the split point. Then select the center side and select the hem. Then you can enter 1.5. Successful. Looks like it. Okay, great. So that's how you add varied seam amount. Okay. Then you have top and undersleeve. Okay. 1.5. This is easy, right? Advanced, define. Select both hemlines. Or actually, top sleeve has little split points. Make sure you select both. And right click OK. 1.5. Okay. I think you should combine this line. Sorry, there was a little mistake here. Make sure you combine under top sleeve hemline. Go to modify line action, combine, to combine these two sections so that becomes one continuous line. All right. So I think we finished adding a seam allowance. Okay. Then what is the next step? Huh? Well, save. Yes, thank you. That's a good idea. File, save, select all, save. Do you get any warnings? No warning when you save?
Yes.
Huh? No warning? Well, that's good. What? I think you just click OK. All right. Well, let me continue. So, front. Let's start with the front. Front jacket front. Okay. Well, you notice that you can't leave dots like this, right? Do you remember how to fold a dart? Yes, you should. Where? Where do you find dart command? In Advanced tab. In Advanced, you have a dart. Huh? Yes, fold, correct. Now, I know you're happy to find this, command, but make sure you check the 3 boxes, okay? Every time when you fold, make sure you check three boxes, okay? Because you want to have dot marked, you want to have a drill hole, and also notches, right? Make sure you check. Then you select the line closer to the shoulder, and you enter 0.5. Right? Now your dot is closed. Yeah, folded. Excellent. So let's do a notch here, breakpoint. You need a notch here, right? Okay. Simply go to create notch standard and you select add a notch where the breakpoint is. Okay, add a notch to breakpoint. Create notch standard. Okay. All right. The rest is corners. Okay, remember corners. Where do you go to add notches to corners? You can't use create a notch, right? Create standard doesn't work for corners. You need to go to advanced corners. And so this is where you have many selections here. For each corner, you select the right one. Okay. So like that's easy one here, shoulder. Do you think you need to change shape? Not really, right? This is kind of in a tolerable area. So you just need to add a notch to the corner. Okay. So in that case, you will select regular, right? Without changing the corner, but you want to add a notch. Corners, regular. Okay. From the regular, on the right side column, you always pay attention to the right side user input. Extension. Do you remember both first, second? What does it mean? Okay, so this one is what? You need to only stitch from here, so second only, right? So select the corner, second only. And this will be first only. Well, what are you going to do with this one? I don't think you want to change this corner, don't you? Because it will be sewn together with this corner here, right? So what command do you use for this? Yes. So corners squared. Okay, squared. Now squared corner, you don't need notches. Okay, the shape itself tells you the amount of seam amount. So notch type, none. Okay, when you use square corner, you don't need that notch. So select none. And then remember that, right? When you slide on the line, you always stay on the sewing direction. So you don't want to select armhole line. You want to select the princess seam, right? So slide it to the point and select, then you will create. Select the point, select the line. Okay. All right. So since I'm in a square corner, so go do the back also, right? Continue. Select the corner, select the line, select the corner, select the line. So you can change that back also, like that. Okay. So the back princess seam also should look like this, right? Select the corner, select the line. Huh? Where? This one is not regular. This is square corner. Okay. Then the shoulder, I guess shoulder probably you don't need to change. So go to regular. Okay. Now switch to extension. Okay. This is also you need to switch back and forth. If you need a notch, you need to select extension. Okay. Extension. First only. Second only. Okay. First only. Second only. Okay. Now let's look at the hem. Okay. So the back and front, back and side hem. Okay. If this is your paper pattern, what would you do with this one? Huh? Well, you will fold it seam up, right? And then make it identical. Yes. So to do that in the computer, you will select corners and turn back. Okay. For hem, you select turn back and extension notch first only. Extension first only, and you simply click the hemline like that. Here too. Okay. I don't think it works for the front hem. Let me try. See, it doesn't work. Okay. So the front hem, you use regular corner and use second only notch to the side. Okay. This one? Where? This one?
You have to click the hem.
There. Corner, turn back. And make sure you select extension and second only. Or first only, sorry. First only. Extension, first only, and you click the hem.
Just all the hem?
on back, side and back, and sleeve hem too. You can do the sleeve hem same. Mhm. Okay, so I stop here. I want you to save this. Please save. And what I like you to do is I have videos. Okay, so watch the video, and then this is the finished pieces. So I leave this in our folder. Don't do anything. Okay, don't touch don't touch my pattern. You just look at it. Okay, so you can see how the pieces are finished. Okay, and you will slightly shape is different, but you will follow this. Now, I'm not asking you to do this lining and other pieces, only shell pieces. Okay, only shell pieces. And what you need to do is I like you to finish also Karasmas, which is model. Okay, so model, you're going to follow the sample in here. Okay, FD321 jacket. If you see, okay, you right click open, see right click report all pieces. Okay, so you see these are the names. You see that? So you do 1 to 10. 1 to 10, you finish. Okay, 1 to 10. You don't need to do all that. Well, if you want to, you can. Okay, I can give you extra credit if you do. But at least 1 to 10. Okay, follow this naming convention. Okay, and the description. Okay, and finish till next week. Yes. Okay, so again, find FD321 jacket on the model, right click, report all pieces. Then you see that how you name pieces. Okay, so you will rename after you finish adding the CMOS everything. You rename with the numbers. Okay, do you know how to rename? How do you rename? Okay, so this is I don't want you to do. Okay, I don't want you to do in AccuMark pattern design. Don't do save as. Okay, instead, once you finish everything, go back to, I think I have it right. Okay, go back to AccuMark and then you rename here. Okay, rename is 01 front or 02 back, you know. So do AccuMark. In here, you rename. Are you following? How do you rename? Yes. And then you follow the sample that I made, right? And then rename. Huh? Huh? Till next week. You finish. To make a model. So you have FD321 jacket. Yeah, this is the one. Oh, who is Katsam? Who is this? Hmm? Okay. Okay, here, model, right click, report all pieces. Okay, so you can check the model and then, you know, see the name, how you rename the name. Okay, so these are the piece names you change into that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay. Huh? Here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Remember abbreviation? Okay. And number abbreviation piece, how many pieces you cut? Okay, Sarah, do me a favor. Okay. Enter here JKT. Do you see FD312? Right click, report all pieces. Okay, and then you look at piece name only 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 after 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So you can rename according to number with abbreviations. Okay, then after you finished rename, then you create a model. No. Okay, let me. If you watch video, you see, but I want to just explain. Okay, so first you're going to finish this, right? Okay, then you save everything. Okay, then you close this, and in AccuMark, okay, we will select your pieces. Okay, now it's like this. Let me close this one here so that I can rename. Okay, so here I have front. Let me, when you rename, okay, this, you right click to rename, okay, and then change to front is 01, front to self block fuse. Let me do 01, front to self with fuse, right? So you change. Okay. So so before you do this, you can actually, bless you. This is a sample. You right click on the model and then report all pieces. Okay. And you can actually print or snip tool, right? You will snip tool, right? You keep this open. Okay. And you can actually rename according to this, right? FR to F2SB or 2SF, same thing. And I will again retrieve my pieces. Okay, so number 1, number 2 is side, right? Side is this one. Rename to 02, side to self with fuse. Okay, so you rename this according to the sample I left in the folder, and once you finish all the naming, you will create model. Okay, once you finish, I know you're tired, that's why I'm gonna stop here. So then you create a model, which you did already. Okay, so that'll be the homework till next week. And then also, what else? Sketches. Yes, sketches. Okay, thumbnail sketches. It doesn't need to be, beautifully rendered unless you want to just show the ideas, and so we will make a selection.
Could you remind us how to go right from there to create the model?
From here. So if after you rename, select everything, right click open with model editor, and then you create a model. Here, I think if you need a handout how to create a model.
You're just renaming your own people.
Yes, questions.